You know, in all of my visits to woodland, I've never done this. And that's lie on my back. I have a bed of bracken below me to protect me from the dampness of this autumn wood. And I can, from here, look up to the very top of this magnificent oak tree, which spreads out from a central trunk and forms a canopy high above my head of yellowing, brightening in this autumn sunshine leaves. And then there are a few clouds passing by, way, way, way up high.
It's a wonderful view, isn't it? And one that not many people think to take. But this is also the best way to spot our smallest native woodpecker, the lesser spotted woodpecker.
Why is it the best way?
Because they're so tiny, they take a lot of seeing. So you've got to get yourself comfy, and I feel quite comfy just lying here. But also, they feed on the underside of the thick branches, right in the top of the canopy. So if you just take your time, settle back and really concentrate on the tops of the trees, on a big specimen tree like this oak, you're increasing your chances of seeing activity and movement up there.
Well, let's watch and let's wait. And with James Chubb, who is an education ranger with the East Devon District Council. And this tree that we've chosen to lie under is one of the many brilliant specimens in Hollyford Wood, which is in the south-east corner of Devon. And the wood is set in a deep gorge. So when you come down the slopes into the woodland, you really do feel as though you're leaving the rest of the world behind. It's got a very special atmosphere. Let me use the binoculars, because then we get this true picture of the tree canopy.
Yes, suddenly you're transported up inside the canopy, looking from below with binoculars. Any movement up there in the top?
No. Some of the leaves are almost translucent, aren't they? Feel the light just beating through them. Our woodpecker, why might it come to a tree like this?
Well, there'll be lots of dead and dying branches up there in the canopy, and those will be riddled with grubs and larvae of beetles and insects, and it's those animals that the woodpecker's trying to bore out to feed on. Ooh. No, those are goldfinches flying overhead right up high. With such tiny food spread over a huge area, it spends so much of its time foraging.
There was a breeze there. And it only just caught the very top of the canopy. Everything else remained still below it. But it's enough to send acorns and leaves just either plummeting or spiralling down to the floor. There's no appearance yet, you know.
No, I know. Lying and waiting's all good, but I'll show you one of the ways that you can actually call in woodpeckers to where you are and make them come to you. Is there more tapping coming from behind us? There, can you hear?
Yes, I can.
And there's more tapping over there.
It's working.
Yeah. There's one. There's one just with the tit flock. There, can you see it just flew off the vertical of the branch?
Yeah.
There goes one.
Up in
That's a great spotted coming over. So it's on the underside of the branch and it's tapping up into the branch. Yeah. In the oak tree we were laid under. Yep.
Earlier on.
And there's a flock of tits, probably great tits and marsh tits, following it around.
Why, James?
Well, looking for any pickings that it might disturb. So it's heard us tapping and thinks there's some feeding to be had over here. They're coming closer anyway.
So you have a stone and you're tapping it on the trunk.
I know, but it's a recognised method. And the thing you're trying to do is not mimic the territorial drumming, which is the really almost like ack-ack gun firing noise. You're trying to sound like feeding of a woodpecker, which is a lot less rhythmical, and it's finding a bit of a good bit and having a chisel.
And it would be doing that on a piece of bark like the one that we have here, which has deep fissures in it, these that are running down the length of the trunk. It looks in there for
Yes.
insects. I'm watching something, James, just flitting in the treetops, but it moves so quickly.
Yeah, there's a troop of long-tailed tits moving through. They move in these huge family groups
Here they come. Look.
with that Morse code that keeps them in contact. But they're picking their way through the branches looking for spiders and any little insects they can find. I think they were with the woodpecker that we saw a second ago.
And there's 5, 6, 7 of them, at least 8, 9.
Yes, yeah, it's difficult to tell, isn't it? Because they never stay still for a second. It's a great tit. Ah, there's a little marsh tit just down here behind us, which is that one, just there.
Oh, just landed
Very-
on a branch it was too heavy
yeah.
for, and it's springing up and down.
The upper branches are absolutely crawling with birds now, aren't they? It's full of them.
You're bringing in all sorts of things, but not the lesser spotted woodpecker yet.